Welcome to Kalamax, the Stormsire. As far as our opening hand goes, we've got 3 lands. With the pull from tomorrow, yeah, I'm not super wild about this. I mean, we've got protection for Kalamax, but this just kind of doesn't really go anywhere if we don't hit anything. So let's go mulligan on this one. Berserk, Prismatic Vista. Yeah, we're gonna... Well, we got Shroud-Veiled. Yeah, we can keep on this one. Hopefully we rip into something else. So we're going to keep on this one. Let's go ahead and put, at this point, Thassa's Intervention is actually pretty nice. We're going to put Berserk on the bottom right now. Click OK, and then hopefully we draw into something pretty nice. Yeah, typically with Kalamax, you're kind of looking for something, some sort of ramp in your opening hand, something that's going to allow you to get ahead on resources. And so with that opening hand, it wasn't bad, but it was kind of one of those like, let's just ship it back, see if we can't get something just a little bit nicer. So hopefully the magic gods will treat us well. If not, we're going to lead off with a Prismatic Vista, grab ourselves a green source, and then go from there. But yeah, it would be nice to hit a piece of ramp, because that always helps just, power out a lot of our spells and also get Kalamax out pretty quick. So draw to Command Tower. I will certainly take that. Let's go and lead off with Prismatic Vista. Yeah, I think we will end up going for 4, so let's go and grab that. That one, get that out of the way. Grab ourselves a forest. There we go. And then anything else, we'll pass the turn over to our opponent. Play against Athreos, the Shroud-Veiled. Should be pretty fun. Can't wait. We're playing Kalamax, the Stormsire. Whenever you cast your first instant spell each turn, if Kalamax is tapped, copy that spell. You may choose new targets for the copy. Then, whenever you copy an instant spell, put a +1 counter on Kalamax. Playing against Athreos, oh, look at that swamp. There's a beautiful swamp right there. And, yeah, those old school basics always look good. Oh, there we go. Sorry, my cat ran by my computer and, knocked it. And I was like, what is going on? All right, so let's lead off with the Command Tower. Then anything else, pass it back over there. Playing against Athreos, the Shroud-Veiled. Indestructible Devotion 7 turns into a creature. Then at the beginning of your end step, put a coin counter on target creature. Yeah, on another target creature. Then, whenever a creature with a coin counter on it dies or is put into exile, return that card to the battlefield under your control. In fact, if you want to check out Athreos, I did release Athreos last week if you did miss it. And so, did a little Church of Athreos week last week, and it was a lot of fun doing that, that sort of theme. So hopefully everybody out there enjoyed it, and I might talk about that here in just a second. But let's see what we draw into for the turn. If not, probably going to, Fatal Frenzy. That's not the best thing that we're looking at. So let's go for Volcanic Island, and then anything else, we will pass it back over there. So we did cover both commanders. Give a quick shout out to our sponsors, TCG Player. If you go to bit.ly/Jolt MTG, that will apply my affiliate link that will allow you to get some cards and support the channel at the same time. In fact, if you enjoy my content, that is the best way to support the channel, and allows you to get some cards too. So pretty nice. All right, that's going to be Panharmacon. Yeah. I don't know what sort of Athreos deck we're facing against, but yeah, I think that's definitely a pretty potent spell. So let's go for Thassa's Intervention on this one. We're gonna click OK. Yeah, I'm not sure what sort of build they have, but Panharmacon is definitely one of those cards that if you see it on your opponent's side of the battlefield, you definitely want to keep that off. And maybe it doesn't matter, but at least I feel a little bit better doing that. So, and it should set us up to go for a Kalamax. Now, we are playing against Orzhov, black-white, ton of removal. We don't have any protection for Kalamax, so we might just roll Kalamax out there just to kind of see what's happening. And then we can always follow it up with the Shroud-Veiled and try to start scrying into something, unless we draw into some protection. But other than that, we'll probably try to get Kalamax out there and see what sort of value we can assemble. So, let's go for Desolate Lighthouse, let's go for Kalamax. Tap down the Desolate Lighthouse, have all Kalamax into the battlefield, and then anything else, kick it back over there. So, but yeah, be sure to check out TCG Player. Also, let's give a quick shout out to MTGOTraders. If you want to play online, they're your best digital local gaming store. Hit them up for any sort of digital needs that you may have. Also, let's give a quick shout out to inkgaming.com. If you'd like to check out the Kalamax Max Bets Casino playmat. Looks pretty fun. I enjoyed doing... Oh, that's going to be Flashbag. Yeah, that's fine. I figured they had something, but if they didn't, that really kind of helps us kind of get some extra value very early on. So yeah, we're perfectly fine with that. So it's going to get rid of Kalamax. Send Kalamax back to the command zone. Definitely, yes indeed. And then in gaming, also, last but not least, I started a Patreon. So if you'd like to directly support cool content like this, there's a link down in the description below. But if you're keeping score at home at the casino, where everybody's making max bets, hey, it's officially free time, so let's have some fun. We still have a good turn next turn. We're looking at Chromatic Lantern at the very least. Yeah, I think that'll work out. So I think we could go for Shroud-Veiled if we wanted to. And actually, I kind of like that over Chromatic Lantern because we can just do this next turn. So let's go Rouse Zarek. Yeah, because that way we can just start getting some sort of card filtering, and that's going to be pretty important for us. There's not really a lot of creatures on our opponent's side of the battlefield, and this should really help us out. So let's go for the +2. We're going to scurry one, get a little bit of fever going early. Yeah, actually land. Well, we'll go and put that on the bottom since we do have Triome and Rogue's Passage to follow up with. So let's go and play the Triome, and then anything else pass it back over to our opponent. So, but yes, Kalamax. What are we doing at the Kalamax Casino? We're going for max bets over here. One of the good things about building Kalamax is you can certainly kind of build this storm style deck to where you're trying to, storm off and win the game. But what we're trying to take this is almost kind of like a spell. Oh, they've got Plague Crafter. That's going to be a Planeswalker. Yep. Bye, Rouse Eric. Adios, muchacho. But yeah, we're kind of taking that Riku effect to where you just want to ramp, you want to get a lot of value out there, get ahead on mana, and then if we can get Kalamax down and simply just, make an extra copy of Stoke the Flames, make an extra copy of Prophetic Bolt, that's not necessarily the win condition for the deck, but just getting that extra value, that strong 2-for-1 is pretty much the name of the game, and especially something like Pull from Tomorrow. So let's go for Rogue's Passage. Let's go so they do have 3 cards left in the hand. I'm guessing, either way, we're going to have to take a turn off. So let's say that we go for Kalamax. They have removal, so be it. And then we followed up with Pull from Tomorrow. Yeah, I like doing this. So let's go for that. Because at the very least, if we end up with a double Pull from Tomorrow, that sounds like a pretty good option. So let's go for Kalamax. They did burn through Fleshback Marauder. They burned through Plague Crafter. So hopefully they don't have another piece of removal in their hand. But if it's anything like the way that I built Athreos, you have a 6-mana commander. You just really want to control the board state. So we're probably looking at some pretty heavy removal. But at this point, we don't mind rolling out Kalamax and, oh, look at that Plains. Man, these old school basics on Magic Online, they always look so good when you play them out there. But yeah, basically, that's the kind of the name of the game, stuff like Chemist's Insight, Factor Fiction. Just getting these extra copies for these 3, 4, 5 instant spells that deal some damage and allow us to kind of draw on some cards is really where this deck wants to be. So let's see what they're tapping out for. Damnation. All right, partner. And they are looking at, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They still have one more land drop to make before they go for Athreos. And so if that does end up happening, we probably want to find some sort of protection for Kalamax. So we've already rolled Kalamax out twice now. So we're looking at 2. It's going to be 8 total mana. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. So we do have an option next turn. If we don't draw into a land, and we might just Pull from Tomorrow just to draw 4 cards. Yeah, I think we might end up doing that because we want to make this land drop. So let's go for Pull from Tomorrow for 4. Yeah, it's going to be really important that we at least keep up with our opponent's mana, if not get ahead. Oh, there we go. Nature's Lore and Cultivate. So we're looking at a 4/7. Yeah, I think at this point, Lightning Bolt is definitely a card that we would enjoy having. Well, actually, let's get rid of Channeled Force. I think that'll actually work out. So anything else, pass it back over there. So we do have Cultivate next turn. That's going to bust us open on getting a land drop and getting a land on the battlefield. And then we also do have Nature's Lore. So it's going to put us back in a spot to where we can go for Kalamax. We are probably looking at some more removal. And like I mentioned, this is kind of like the core concept of a Riku deck. And so, once you get to the point where you just have a ton of mana, it's nice having Kalamax on the battlefield. But if we don't, we can simply just hopefully, find our way into Double Vision, which is the new red enchantment from M21, or maybe we can find ourselves into Thousand Year Storm and then kind of chain something together. So if we can't get Kalamax out there, at least we do have kind of plans B and C. Sky Shroud, this is a very nice turn. So, Sky Shroud Claim, let's do that. So that's going to be green Rogue's Passage. Yeah, this is going to be some very nice mana this turn. So we go for Sky Shroud Claim. That's going to be 2 force on the battlefield. Let's grab Tropical Island. And we're going to grab Taiga Bucket. Both of those come down. Let's go for Nature's Lore. Yeah, that'll be perfect. We go Nature's Lore. That'll be an extra forest that we can shock in. Or unless we have another duel. And what are they? Let's see what they're tapping down. They're going to go for Field of Ruin on Rogue's Passage, which I think we're okay with. Yeah, that's fine. That's going to pop that. We'll grab ourselves, I think at this point, we'll grab ourselves a red source. Yeah, that'll work out. There we go. We'll grab ourselves a mountain. That's going to enter the battlefield, and that'll still allow us to end up going for Cultivate. So that's really going to set us ahead on mana, which is going to be very nice. So let's have this Nature's Lore come down. In fact, with our opponent going for that Field of Ruin activation, I think we can actually just grab ourselves Breeding Pool, have that come into play tap, because we already have 3 lands for Cultivate, and I still don't think we've made a land drop for the turn. So look at this value. I will take this. That's going to be Cultivate. And you can see where, taking a turn off just to go for pull from tomorrow. It did help that we drew into a couple different pieces of ramp, but that was a very nice feeling. So we've got more than enough green, and we've got some really good red. Yeah, we'll just go and grab double island on this. And we do have a lot of options to where sometimes we need some extra, blue sources, different things like that. So let's go for island, and then anything else we will pass the turn. So look at that. Opponent's sitting at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're still sitting at 5 total mana on Athreos, and with that Field of Ruin activation, if they don't have a land, that should allow us to buy some extra time. But like I mentioned, we don't have to really kind of get Kalamax out there unless we have protection, because that's going to allow us to... I don't really want to give that extra effect to Athreos. I don't think that sounds too good. So, and then with Lightning Bolt on Odric, that should be pretty good. We'll see what else is in store for us. But that's one of the fun things about Athreos, is this is a pretty, my build of Athreos, if you didn't see it, was black-white control with Planeswalker Super Friends. And so it's kind of cool to see this random Panharmacon effect style deck from our opponent. So pretty nifty. So let's see what we draw into for the turn. Impulse. Okay. So we can go for Kalamax again if we want to. Do we want to try? This could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's still going to give us access to 3 open mana. We can potentially go for Chromatic Lantern. Yeah, at this point, even if we're still just looking for value play with Impulse, I think this is okay. So let's go for Kalamax. Costing 8 mana. Okay, now we do have... Oh, I'm about to say, we could go for Fatal Frenzy, but we might. Let's see, we might be able to set up a Fatal Frenzy and a Berserk next turn. That'll be pretty... I mean, that kind of puts us all in on a combat step play, but to have both... Oh, Swords to Plowshare, okay. Do we want to go for Berserk? Where X is its power... Nah, I think we just end up leaving it. Yeah, that's fine. We don't want to gain some extra power. So we'll gain 4. That's going to put us at a 33. We'll definitely return Kalamax back to the command zone. And then anything... Do we want to actually end up going for Impulse? I don't think we... Yeah, we did not make the lane drop for the turn. So instead of going for Impulse on our opponent's turn, let's go and crack it now, because we might be able to make a land drop off of this Impulse. Okay, so we've got Electrolyze, which is going to allow us to draw a card. Halimar Depths, look at the top 3 cards of our library. And then Rouse Outburst. Look at the top 2 cards. Yeah, I think at this point, we'll just go and grab ourselves a Rouse Outburst. We've got more than enough mana for that, so we'll put those on the bottom in any order. And then I think before they have any sort of option, let's just go and Lightning Bolt on Odric. I mean... I don't know what's in store for us, but at least just getting rid of threats off the battlefield, especially something like Odric. If they have a lot of keywords over there, they can get pretty gnarly pretty quick. So anything else, pass them back over to our opponent. So next turn, we're probably looking at Chromatic Lantern with Rouse Outburst just to find something. If we can find Thousand Year Storm or Double Vision might help. Simply getting an extra copy of Rouse Outburst is definitely worth it. But if we can find ourselves into Thousand Year Storm, that is definitely going to be very good for us. And our opponent is unfortunately stuck on lands, which is a very nice feeling. It's going to allow us to do some things that we definitely need to do. So, in fact, with us having Frantic Search, let's go and go for Frantic Search. It's going to be a free spell. It's always nice to get free real estate. So we're going to draw 2 cards, discard 2 cards. And since, oh, there we go, Double Vision. At this point, I think Kalamax is just going to be out of the question. We don't have protection. We're looking at 8, 10 mana. So let's go and get rid of Paradise Mantle. And let's get rid of, I think, Fatal Frenzy. Yeah, I think we're okay with that. All right, so we're going to untap 3 lands. Let's go for this Double Vision. And that should set us up for a very nice Rouse Outburst next turn, because whenever you cast your first instant or sorcery spell each turn, copy that spell, choose new targets for that copy. And as far as what we want to end up going for, that's going to be 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that actually ended up be perfect. So let's go for Chromatic Lantern. That'll give us the 4th mana for Rouse Outburst, and this is really going to allow us to kind of get some really nice amplifying effects off of our instant and sorcery. So anything else, pass it back over to our opponent. But yeah, if you're thinking about building Kalamax, one of the fun things about Kalamax is it's pretty wide open as far as whatever you want to do. Simply just being able to run that core package of stuff like Paradise Mantle, we have Earthcraft in here, we have the land that allows us to tap down our creature like Kalamax to get that kind of tap effect, even stuff like Stoke the Flame. So, you know, if you want to go Kalamax extra turns, that's certainly an option you can go for. And if you just simply just want to go Kalamax tokens, whatever that may be, there's a ton of options. So, all right, so our opponent's going to scoop it up on this one. I know this unfortunately was a little bit of a slow showing from our opponent, but they had a lot of answers for Kalamax, so we pretty much going to take the game over from here. They didn't have another land drop for the turn. We have Double Vision online at this point, so copy that spell. So let's say we go Route Outburst, look at the top 2 cards of our library. We grab one of those, get an extra copy, Young Pyromancer. Yeah, so we're going to run into something like Young Pyromancer. Getting these extra copies is going to allow us to kind of go from there. And then as long as Double Vision sticks, which they did end up scooping, so they probably didn't have an answer for it, that's going to be that nice amplifying effect. And then eventually, once we get some sort of protection for Kalamax, that will allow us to get those extra spell effects. But yeah, this is pretty much what you want to do with Kalamax. If you can't get Kalamax out there, get to the point where you just have so much mana on the battlefield that it is just hard to compete with. And even though we didn't get a lot of action, I mean, just going Shroud Claim into Nature's Lore and to cultivate, whoa, in one turn, that's some really nice landfall storm right there. So anyways, if you enjoyed the video, hey, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.